All right. Yes. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the AM show, hosted live on AlphaMint. As always, going live Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. A little bit late today, but I thank you for your patience. I am your host, Claude Cobain, and joined with me, as always, the newly minted millionaire from the ENS drop, Mr. Free Market Capitalist.
Hey now, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, GM to everybody, lowercase g, lowercase m, in case anybody was confused. There's still a little bit of a debate going on in the DGen dojo, but I think that we need to just put that to rest, you psychopaths in your capital letters.
Yeah, we don't yell good morning. We don't yell good morning. We say
No,
good morning.
no, it's a subtle tip of the coffee mug and a GM to you guys. So I hope everyone had a good Monday. I think we had a good start to the week. There's lots of news to talk about. NFTs were a little bit slow yesterday, as kind of has been the trend in the last little bit, but the crypto market continues to move forward. Again, I woke up this morning to see that Bitcoin has broken its all-time high. It managed to reach a high last night of $68,425, I believe it was. Great sign for that. And again, another great sign, as we talked about with Ethereum yesterday, no major pullback. So it's almost trading sideways at its all-time high. And as you said, might be a bit of a supply crisis brewing before the pop kind of just, or the top kind of just pops off of this. Ethereum also last night broke an all-time high again as well. So again, they're going hand in hand. And you know, Ethereum has finally broken out of its shitcoin moniker.
Seeing a meme coin like Bitcoin get to $69,000 really shows the potential of crypto at large. No, this is great. Not only do these things seem to be making new all-time highs, but it's not affecting their smart contracts as much as it was a couple of weeks ago as NFTs kind of get off the floor. But like Cobain alluded to, supply crisis. It just seems that the demand for crypto is about to hit terminal velocity, and there's not enough to go around. The largest wallets are diamond-handed hodlers who aren't selling anytime soon. ETH is deflationary now, and I expect these prices to continue to climb higher.
Yeah, I mean, as we know, there are Ethereum wallets with over 1 million ETH in them. There are Bitcoin wallets, particularly the Michael Saylor and the Winklevi twins, that have over 100,000 of these. And when you start to chop those out of the pool, combined with Satoshi's million, that God forbid they ever move, but also just a lot of these things have been lost to the ether forever. There is really, at the end of the day, not that much of it to go around. I think when you break it up, there's like 0.02 Bitcoin per person on the planet. So, I mean, even if you're holding anything over that, you're already guaranteed to be above average if mass adoption happens. So, yeah, I'm watching this, and it really does feel like big things are about to come. Of course, I could be completely wrong about that too. So don't put in more than you're willing to lose. But it feels like a great time in the market. The only frustrating thing about Ethereum going up is that one, can accumulate more, and two, as gas stays high, those numbers in US dollar values just start to get pretty indigestible.
Yeah, I like to talk about how the correlation between Ethereum and dollar turns and NFTs is a bit of a straw man, but it is a short-term transient effect. People do pull back and these things are rocketing, and they don't seem to be pulling back anytime soon. I mentioned earlier this week that dog coins, which had seemed to finally hit their top and were pulling back and all that stuff, it just seemed like that first fake top that's a bear trap that everybody always, everyone's happy because the things that they didn't get into are finally crashing. There seems to be a little volume coming back into NFTs. Well, that could be a bear trap in dog coins and a bull trap in NFTs. So
Shiba Inu sitting at a paltry $31 billion market cap, by the way.
Which is still higher than Doge, if I'm not mistaken.
No, right Doge now? Is 37 billion. So
thank God.
Peanuts in the peanuts. So
Yeah. No, so I don't think I don't think the meme coins are done. And as long as gas remains elevated, I don't know if NFTs are going to be roaring back to where they were this summer, but mints are going well right now. So if you have a quality product, you seem to at least be able to sell out.
yeah, mints are definitely back. I'm going to shift our attention to the NFT space, quickly go over the WGMI.io listings and see what's going on in the world there. The 1 day change, not great. The biggest on the top of the chart is a mere 12.5% gain, which is about half of what Roblox went up yesterday. But yeah, metaverse play, yeah, exactly. Just as a side note, they posted some huge numbers, like 43 million daily active users and 100% growth or something like that. Just nuts. But back to NFTs. CyberKong's doing well. CryptoPunks, the floor raised on them, but the floor doesn't really matter on CryptoPunks, I don't think. Volume has been good on those two. HeadDAO, Subducks, Mechaverse doing a little bit of a gain, but again, everything is at least under that 12.5%. So no big gains. Kaiju's been taking a bit of a beating the last little bit too. Down 20% yesterday and down 37% on the week. Loot has been following that trend. Monkey Bet DAO, which oftentimes gets some conversation, has been on that trend as well. Goop, Peaceful, Groupies. So yeah, I mean the NFT floors are definitely still in a bear market. It looked like we had a little bit of a bull trap on the weekend, but still feeling that depression. Volume has been good though, and you said that would be the case, and I think that you are correct about that.
Yeah, and I mean we're even seeing Gen Art mint out at a really nice price yesterday with that Art Blocks mint that sold out at 2.4. There was some really nice secondary sales on that. So I think a bear market is the wrong term for what's going on. The problem is an NFT's price is so extreme in both directions, and floors and ceilings are illusions in both directions, right? So that's why it feels much more like a bear market than like traditional bear markets, which tend to be very, depressed prices for extended periods of time. This just seems more like whales pulling back, waiting to see, because they know how cheap it can get when they do that.
The Ediface drop on Art Blocks was nice, and I gotta say, damn, they do look good. I'm impressed by that project. It was nice to see that it minted out at a high value. Not that I participated in it one way or another. But definitely encouraging. It looks like there's still some volume on it, and it looks like I'm just gonna check the highest sale yesterday. I'm not sure if you caught that off the top of your head. Was 22 Ethereum.
I want to say 22. Yep.
Yeah, a couple of them at 22, a couple of them at 16, 17, 15. So definitely some good movement on there, and like. They're not profile pictures, but I wouldn't mind one of these hanging on a digital frame on my wall. I got to say that. So kudos to Art Blocks for at least holding on to their curated status being, the number one drop to look for. I would have been concerned about kind of the state of the market if that one hadn't played out as we thought it was going to. But fortunately, it did. So
yeah, positive sign.
Perfect. Big, I guess, news of the day that we'll talk about real quickly is that the Discord CEO on Twitter hinted at Ethereum compatibility. This is something that we've talked about a lot. There are some projects that exist, and there are probably very few degrees of separation between some people in AlphaMint and those projects, that being MetaLink. But interesting to see what that means for that project and Discord. There were some polarizing opinions on whether or not crypto should be involved in this project, but I think we know where I stand and where we all stand.
Well, we've been using Discord pretty heavily for quite a few months now, and I think one of the first things that we started to think was, man, it would be nice to throw a little tip to somebody that either drops some good alpha or helps you with a business plan or something like that, and there was no frictionless way to do that. And products saw this hole and were trying to fill it, but Discord is a very well-funded large machine. They see it coming, and if they can integrate crypto right into the app, I think that's really just going to take it to the next level. This is the darling communication app, at least public-facing communication app on Wall Street right now, as well as it's expected to go public soon too.
Yeah, and it's important to note that Discord has turned down a bunch of offers. One being from Microsoft first, I think $8 billion to purchase and kind of be absorbed by Microsoft, which they turned down. My general feeling is that they are pretty committed to doing things the way that they want to do it. And that being said, if they're keeping their company under their own control, now obviously I believe there's some VC influence in there, but yeah, this is something that I could see them moving pretty quickly on. You get these big companies like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, where it kind of takes a little bit more time to maneuver the juggernaut, especially being a publicly traded company. But yeah, I mean, this could happen really quickly, and I got to believe that they've been working on this for a while behind the scenes.
I always think it's amazing that people are always looking for the next big thing, the next big unicorn. It's always communication. Like, I think that language evolves so quickly now that a new communication, is Discord built on those emojis? I think it really is one of the prime use cases. Like, when I'm on Twitter now, the fact that I can't use the DiCaprio laugh emoji makes me not want to tweet a lot. And
you're right. I get it.
I think that if people who study linguistics and language, if you can see how language evolves because it's happening so quickly, you could probably find that next unicorn. So I love Discord, and if they integrated ETH, it would just be that much better.
Yeah, and going back to the BitClout days and the way that we were trying to structure Discords and all of that stuff. Now with NFTs being so pivotal in the world, be very interesting to be able to link your own profile to your wallet, be able to have immediate access to Discords based on your holdings and different tiers of rankings being automatically assigned. I have to believe that something like that's going to happen. That's going to cut out some of the bots, and as we know, bots have been a point of security concern for Discords right now. So I have to believe the first party integration of Ethereum beyond just the function of tipping is going to be massive for Discord. And it wasn't too long ago that we were talking about just how much money actually moves through Discords in terms of the communication aspect of it, right? Even just in our little growing AlphaMint Discord, some of the numbers that we kind of mess around with on a day-to-day basis are pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible, and you got to capture this flow. Like, even when we think about collab land, right? Like, people do not like going outside of Discord for these type of verifications. Just mere wallet verification would be huge if it was native to Discord and you felt safe doing it, right?
Yeah, I think that's going to be of the utmost importance, and a little bit of a segue talking about pretty spectacular amounts of money just kind of moving through the ecosystem and being communicated on Discord was the ENS airdrop yesterday. A lot of AlphaMint members hold ENS. Obviously, ENS is the Ethereum name service, which is you tie to a wallet, you get a shorter name, more in the so such and such.com. Well, it's like mine could have been, I don't have one, but Clout Cobain .dns ENS
ETH.
or ETH. Sorry, yeah, I'm talking a couple different points here, but just as a easy way to transfer to somebody and not having to worry about copy and pasting the 30 something digit addresses. So you got a couple of these ENS tokens airdrop to you, and I know a lot of people were talking about it this morning, but right now that coin is sitting at, just refreshing the page, $44.50. So nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah, and we were talking about identities and verifying on Discord and Web.3, you are a token type of stuff, and ENS is your username. It's in, remembering a wallet address, like you remember your last four digits because that's how you confirm transactions and stuff, but it's not an efficient way to tell somebody like, please send me money here. It's
Really
a
quickly,
ridiculous.
I just want to add, always remember the first four and the last four digits of
Yeah,
your
oh,
ETH
yeah.
address, because there are copy paste swap malware that can detect that you've copied an Ethereum address, and it will swap it on your um, oh, what do you call that thing? It'll swap it so that when you paste the clipboard, sorry, when you paste it into wherever you're sending it to, it'll paste it into their address, or it'll put their address in rather than that. So
Even even better, get an ENS address. And I'm not just saying
no,
that
there
as
you
a
go.
happy
Yeah,
coin holder. It really, really simplifies things. I mean, the first thing to go with ENSs were the three-digit, the single or three-character, the single character, double character, and three-character names. Because to be able to just say, "Hey, send me money at abc.eth" or something was really cool. Or even better, GM at et.eth. There's a lot of great things you can do, but this is now a great way to have your identity and an easy way for people to send you money. It reminds me of Yats, which were another kind of fad right around when ENS was becoming hot, and it's a way to have all your socials and wallets and things linked to an emoji address. So you just type in a few emojis and you could find somebody. But ENS, I think, is a really, really awesome service. I think everyone's going to start using it after this. And if you don't know, you can sell your names on OpenSea. There's a huge OpenSea category of ENS names, so you can buy really desirable ones. And there have
I
been
saw
people who,
one. I saw one that was listed for 100 ETH called LondonFork.eth.
yeah, that was my brilliant play. I'm like, these are ETH people. London Fork's going to be a whole meme. I'd better, but nobody has even offered me zero point 0.1 ETH for that.
Well,
But
maybe it'll be like your X copy.
yeah, no, I am going to hold the look. Lucas made a great point in the DGen chat this morning that these will be the de facto web addresses for every company in Web3. And if you believe in Web3, this is going to be huge. And buying up some names that you think, we all have our hobbies and specialties. Hey, go buy up the things that are important to you. You never know what someone will pay you down the road for those. And buy one for yourself just to simplify your life. It's so easy to just tell someone to send money to Damien at .eth or something like that versus having a whole set
I
of numbers and stuff.
I think you're more likely to sell that domain to Gordon Ramsay when he opens up a restaurant than anything else. But no, I think it's a we talk about future forward things all the time, and if .eth comes anywhere close to what .com ends up being valued, I mean, these things are just going to be printing money. Did you want to talk a little bit about what the ENS token is, why it's important? We had a little bit of a debate on these things and their value. Now, obviously, it's a governance token, but
right, lots of large crypto companies have released these tokens before. The last two that come to mind are Super Rare, the NFT marketplace, and Uniswap, also 1inch. These are DEXs and DEX aggregators. But if you had used their product, and this is usually how airdrops work, they reward early users of their products with tokens that allow governance of the company or protocol. In ENS, and just like Uniswap, and I believe Super Rare as well, set up DAOs, and these DAOs will vote on grants for pools of money that are set aside for them. So this isn't that revolutionary. You get governance and participation in the DAO. This is one reason a lot of these things pump right when they come out. The logic is, well, a bunch of people just got free money. Of course, they're going to sell and take their free money. This thing's going to tank. But the largest holders of ENS names, they're whales who don't need however many hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars they just got airdropped. They would prefer to buy influence. They would prefer to buy power because that's the stage of life they're in. There's usually not a big dump. Usually they suck up that quick supply people dump on the market, and you get a 5 to 10x over the next few days or couple of weeks as these large parties kind of try to get in and become influencers in these tokens. So that is what's playing out here, it seems, right now. It debuted around $15. It's trading at 44 right now. No one would fault you for taking your money, but I do believe in the long-term story of ENS. It's really just about your personal situation. But I don't know, none of these tokens are like stocks. They don't give you the right to a share of profit. So valuing that, we look at the market caps, we compare ENS to things like GoDay, which I think is valid because eventually when regulation allows, I do think they will go down that road. But for now, really all you're buying is the ability to vote. And if you're not very, very wealthy, it doesn't give you much. So, it really is kind of just this free money thing. And man, it's what makes crypto great. I've gotten 5 of these things and it feels, even when you're wealthy, getting a free 10 grand, it just feels good. I mean, these are good days for a lot of people. And if you were early on ENS names, you banked. There were some parameters like
I'm starting to see why you're so excited about this concept.
Once you buy a name, you have to link it to your wallet address, or you can just leave it out there. You could sell it on OpenSea, do whatever you want with it, but linking it to your wallet address was a multiplier in the airdrop. Also, how long you held it. It's just like a domain name. They default to giving it to you for 1 year so that you could pay the renewal fee. But depending on how long you extended it, there was another multiplier on top of it. So,
now, just out of curiosity, when you link it to your ETH address, is it permanent?
No, okay. No, not at all. You could change it at any time, remove it at any time. So
great. Speaking of airdrops, 888 had tweeted out when's the GM airdrop. So. And I believe he said something along the lines of, imagine a world, I see it right there. Imagine a world where GM was airdropped to people depending upon a snapshot of how many GMs they sent. And if that's an indicator of, I don't know if Good Morning future BitClout millionaires counts, but you'd be leading the pack on that.
I don't want to be too conceited, but I know somebody who did start that Good Morning trend quite a while ago. I will say this. Do you know the story behind this Good Morning coin and what's going on here? Did you read about it?
Don't. It just popped up this morning. I just...
Yeah, so yesterday, one of the co-founders of Solana broke one of the Twitter no-nos, and somebody in crypto, a grumpy NGMI type of guy, was like, this Good Morning thing is the most childish thing. I forget what his exact quote was.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So the co-founder of Solana, while the Solana conference is going on in Lisbon, Portugal, replies, "I'll kill you." Literally straight-faced, no emojis.
I thought he just responded GM to him.
"I'll kill you."
I was like, he got banned for that. Yeah.
Literally just, "I'll kill you." That's kind of a no-no on Twitter. You cannot threaten anybody's life. He was banned immediately. Well, crypto Twitter coming to the defense of any Good Morning warrior. And today, a coin was launched, $GM. I don't know the contract address for it, but it's a good 10x right now.
And they're raising funds to get him out of Twitter jail? Was that what I'm understanding?
Something like, I don't remember the exact specifics behind the coin, but there is some very memeability aspects to it, and it is rocketing right now. I don't recommend it a buy. It looks like just one giant rug. That will be today or this week's meme. But the only other info I have is the founders said they are going to do something at $100 million market cap. It's 50 million right now. So sounds to me like they're predicting a double, which isn't good risk reward to put your precious ETH into, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Let's navigate back to NFTs very briefly before we open it up to the Q&A open mic session. Really quickly, Art Wars, Pranksy went on a little bit of a buying spree.
Yeah, this is a great project that I think all good art has some controversy to it. And we know how touchy George Lucas is about his precious Star Wars property that we all love. I wonder if some other project should be thinking about that. But the Star Wars inspired Art Wars, which is different colored helmets inspired by Star Wars, all sorts of cool pictures and stuff with Star Wars paraphernalia on.
Yeah, they're pretty sick, actually.
They're really cool. I mean, as a fan of Star Wars, I love it. I love to have these things, but they are banned in the United States as far as selling them for license. So there are licensing issues within the United States, which is fun. I always think good art has controversy around it, and this art has controversy. They had a pretty successful mint a few days ago, high floor above 2E, I think, and then this morning, Pranksy comes in and sweeps 20 helmets, some rares, and then some off the floor. So owners of that project are singing this morning as well, and it's really cool. You should go check them out.
I'm looking at it on OpenSea, though. Is it not still pre-reveal?
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So he just swept 20 pre-reveal. I like it.
Yeah, the floor is, the floor is sitting at right now about 1.8.
1.8
pre-reveal, yeah, but they were going for almost 2.5 for a little while there, so... This is actually, I just realized I'm looking at it right now, and it's just like a line of Pranksy buying them above 2. I didn't even see the buyers there. Yeah, pretty, well, he did go crazy. He spent, looks like he spent probably 30, 40 ETH on these, yeah.
If they pull back post-reveal, I think that's a buy. These are going to have legs in the coming cycle, so.
Yeah, they are cool. Actually, it kind of reminds me of... You used to be able to buy these blank Stormtrooper helmets that came with some like markers and stuff, and you could design your own. I remember getting my son one for Christmas one year, and he had a lot of fun with that, and it's still kicking around. Obviously not an NFT, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely some appeal to just aesthetically, like they're cool looking. So, and then lastly, we kind of had a little bit of a discussion about the 3 dragon projects that are going on. So right now, simultaneously, we've been looking at DigiDragons, the Draka project, and Dormant Dragons. So Dormant Dragons is one that kind of popped up most recently. It looks pretty close to a clone of Draka, maybe with a little more character to them. And then there's the DigiDragons, which from an art standpoint, I think is the clear winner here. But what's your take on this? They all have different kind of appeals to them for sure.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think what makes me curious about Dormant Dragons, which, as you said, look like such a close copy of Draka, is that they built their Discord really quickly, and I don't think it was with invite contests. So I don't know if they're well connected or if there's something more there that I'm missing, but they had really impressive Discord growth early on. So that was what put them on my radar. But when you look at the art, it's almost exactly like Draka, maybe slightly more cartoonish. And to be fair, one of the things when I would look at Draka, and we have a few comments on why their art is okay but doesn't quite hit the mark, was that they need to just be a little more cartoonish. They're a little too serious to play. And then you also had some comments on the art as well that made sense.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, being pretty close to a pixel project of our own, you start to really kind of digest why some of these things do and don't work, and what does and don't work about them. And one of my big beefs about the Bear X project, and I know I said we weren't going to talk about this again, was just there's a lack of polish, particularly in the line work. The black outlines and stuff like that, if they look sloppy, it tends to make the entire art look sloppy. I feel that way about Draka. Draka is pixel art as well, but it is pretty it's pretty high res when you start to count it. Like it looks like it's like almost 128 or more by 128. Now, obviously, technically, that is pixel art. I mean, I guess technically anything digital is pixel art, but you start to blur the lines between just like pixel art and then just low res. So there's a lot of detail going on in these, and I think when you start to scale them down into small profile pictures, that detail kind of just starts to blur out and make it look really messy. One of the reasons why I'm not huge on Draka, and then looking at Dormant Dragons, they looks like they've kind of addressed some of those problems and cleaned it up a little bit. They are, like you said, a little bit more cartoony. They do have some more character to them. They're a lot more colorful. So, you know, that creates a little bit of distinguishing in the project or in the individual profile pictures. So I do think that they look better. But again, they are very detailed. And, you know, that seems like it should be a good thing. But when you start to minimize them down into a very tiny profile picture, you start to really kind of lose the core essence of what they look like.
And then, yeah, you know, they're very they're just very similar too. Like I feel, even though some of them have starkly different, you know, materials and colors, there's just a very, very similar look to the dragon. And I think there's the biggest death knell to any project right away is going to be if your art is too similar. So I see that in the Draka and the other project as well. So.
Yeah, I think that the Digi Dragons kind of addresses that the best, and it looks like they're more traditional 64 by 64 pixel art. They're very colorful. The actual dragon itself has a lot of character to it, and there's a lot of different ways that they can take the rarity traits and whatnot. So to me, that looks like the clear project. There's no, you know, I don't have any incentive for one or the other to be right. But if I had to just pick one to mint or even just buy on secondary, it would probably be DigiDragons. I think that's where I would go. I don't know if you have a differing opinion. Obviously, you look at the community, how engaged, how active it is, the hype around it, you know, whether they're doing a good job of managing their Discord. Supply always plays a big a big element in it. DigiDragons, by the way, is 1,500 in total for the Genesis drop. And I'm going to look at the Draka. That one's pretty low too. I believe 999. So they're kind of all really competing in the same space of supply, cost, etc.
It's interesting. I posted 2 pictures of the DigiDragons in the AM chat. I think art-wise, they're definitely the clear winner. They have personality. They're fierce, and like you said, there's a lot of places a lot of directions they could go with it. The supply is interesting on all of them. They're all going for low supply, and they may all be copying Genesis Dragons, which I think used to be called Last Dragons. There was a name change. It was the hot ticket a week or 2 weeks ago. They had a very small Genesis drop, I believe, earlier in the year around Zilla Kong's time, and project was revived. They did a larger V2 drop, and then quite a few Dragon projects sprung up. And I gotta say, I liked the art on each subsequent Dragon project better and better until DigiDragons, which I do think is the pinnacle so far. I love the art. I'm in all 3 communities. I'm on none of the whitelists yet. I am trying, because even the other 2 in which I'm not in love with the art, this is very low supply pixel art. That's almost always good for a trade, as we could see with Bear X, and as the market, at least mint-wise, seems to be coming back. So these are 3 good projects. We'll drop the Discord links in there, but I think art-wise, we're kind of in love with DigiDragons, so
yeah,
we're going to be trying to working that.
You make a good point. I actually do like all of the projects. If I had to rank them, it would be DigiDragons, Dormant Dragons, and then Draka. But I wouldn't be offended to be on the whitelist of any of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they all look fun, and I'm going to be working those generals to see if I could get on. Draka is random giveaways. Dormant Dragons, I'm not totally sure, and DigiDragons is being very selective and doing random games in the channel right now. I think maybe they did a Twitter retweet contest, but these are small supplies, so they're being really selective on their whitelist. You may have to go in there and actually engage. So it may be about picking your favorite one and committing to try to get on that whitelist.
So I'm going to do a little bit of a shameless plug for the AlphaMint Moon Lounge right now, and one of the reasons why holding a pass is so great. But you know, you said you're going to be working the general, trying to figure out how to get on these whitelists. A lot of times they're pretty spur of the moment contests or raffles, or you know, some people or some Discord groups have been doing like trivia, right? And a lot of times they're just stealth drops. It's like get in there as fast as possible. And AlphaMint Moon Loungers are some of the best in the NFT space, honestly, at getting that information into that Moon Lounge quickly. And we have such a good success rate of getting onto the whitelist. So if any of you are, you know, new to this and you're looking at reasons why you should be in the Moon Lounge, I mean, I know you are very quick to just get that information in there as well.
Speaking of some breaking news, everyone run to the AM show chat. I know it may have been posted yesterday, but Evolving Foxes, which at least from the name hints to be a pixel art level up type of game, is going to be a stealth drop, likely within the next 24 hours. It's whitelist only, and the way you get on the whitelist is 3 invites and level 3 on engagement. Now, that's really junked the general up, where it's just a bunch of people saying, GM, let's fucking go, like as much as they can to get their levels up. But this may be another way. They seem to know, you know, when they're confident they can do a stealth drop within like 24 hours of the project even existing, it feels like they know something, or they have whales they know are going to buy. Get in there and see if you could work that Discord. It looks like it's going to be a very quick mint soon, and it's going to be a stealth mint, so it may be one of those that AlphaMint has hovered around the voice chat looking for to try to get in. Evolving Foxes. I dropped it in the AM show chat.
Yeah, but like going back to my original point, I do believe you dropped that last night in the DGen Dojo, right? So a little bit of a heads up. And like I said, there's always going to be free stuff going on in AlphaMint, and it's a great community to be in, whether or not you hold that pass. But there definitely is a very quick flow of information in that space. So,
exactly.
You know, if anybody has any questions, just reach out to me by DM, and you know, I'll take the time to answer them for you. So I do want to give one final shout out to Henry, who just posted his first kind of daily recap. Henry's you know, doing some stuff for AlphaMint now, so go give him a welcome. He's listening right now, but you can find it in the community research if you're a part of the Moon Lounge, where he's doing a recap of yesterday, some of the big projects, and he's a great writer. So happy to have Henry on board, and if Henry wants to come up on stage during the open mic and say hi, I won't put him on the spot, but you'd be more than welcome to, and we'd love to have you up here. So on that note, anybody that wants to jump up and come shoot the shit with us for a little bit, you can put your hand up. We'll invite you up onto the stage, and wish you a very happy Tuesday GM.
Couple more previews from Immortal Phoenix I was looking at. It's not bad. It's not my favorite pixel art. I'm still trying to get on that whitelist too. A really small supply. Oh no, wait. I think they're 5,000 supply, or 3 or 5,000 supply. But that's another cute pixel art project.
Yeah, I'm just
2 more sneak peeks. They
quickly.
just
5,000 will be minted. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good. Pixel art is something that we talk about quite frequently, but I believe is a pretty timeless element of art. There's a lot of nostalgia in the 8-bit gaming, and that is typically the age group that's participating in this market right now. So I think it plays well.
I think that's why it's working.
It scales down well to the profile pictures, which is
I think that's also a huge element that we talk about all the time. It's like, what makes a good PFP? I think we're going to find that out with Artifact, right? Do these 3D profiles, which are just so detailed. Now, you're going to be able to tell an Artifact PFP. Like, so they're going to be dependent on whether it's instantly or at least quickly a flex or not. But that's the problem we always talk about with detailed or 3D avatars, and it's why pixel art, I think, as you said, is timeless, and it just works time and time again.
I think as the metaverse has kind of come more to fruition, you know, these high res arts that might end up being an actual character or an avatar in the metaverse will probably start to see some real traction, and then you'll get these, legacy projects like, Clone X. I'm saying it legacy, but I only mean that by the time that the metaverse kind of really hits full steam, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, and maybe the rarity of a 20,000 Clone X drop is substantial. So those might be really, really long-term holds. Ethereum's was something that had a lot of hype behind it. It picked up some steam. It minted out pretty well, and then never really had any traction. Mecca was something that we've spoken about frequently that had its day. Maybe if you're very patient and you can accumulate some of these while the floors are depressed on them, there's a play in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we hardware is a big barrier to entry right now. Like Oculus is the only virtual reality set, and I think it's going to happen sooner than later. You make a really good point. Like these cleaner 3D avatars are going to come into play as the metaverse evolves. And shout out to Cryptographer, who we've known for a while, and he's at the forefront of digital animation and design. And, he rolls his eyes at the pixel stuff. So he's like, why do you guys care about stuff you could do in the 1990s? And he makes a good point. This is just a factor of it's what can be handled right now. Once we can handle cryptographer level stuff, it's going to have its day. I mean, before this year, 3D art was really hot in NFTs. It was almost the only stuff I was buying in 2020. It was a very hot sector. It was much more fine art, smaller project, one of ones or one of 100 type of things. But it I think it will have its day.
Yeah, Cryptographer does a lot of great work. He did he's the coin master on BitClout, if I recall correctly. He's also Dutch, so important to know when interacting with him.
Disclaimer, the Dutch disclaimer.
But no, always he's been a beloved member of the community for a long time.
He's Dutch, just like our friend Dark Illidan, who comes on to the show now and again.
Oh,
to grace us with his presence.
Yeah, I haven't seen him on in a couple days. Well, I guess since last Friday, but yeah.
He should have never mentioned that security thing. He went completely silent.
Yeah, we wanted to come on the show and dox yourself.
Just tell us a little more. It doesn't go online for 5 days.
What's your longitude and latitude? No, but yeah, Dark Illidan is always fun to have on the show. Yeah, and you know what? Actually, some exciting stuff about this show. I know you're working on setting up a bit of a home studio for jumping on the camera with it. It's something that I've been doing. We recorded a couple of videos as trial runs. One, we're kind of it's sitting up on YouTube that we haven't made public yet, but I managed to get some overlays going for this and some screen transitions. I think it's going to look really good. I think the discussion is that we will eventually be doing some kind of hybrid streaming to YouTube Live, as well as doing it in audio on Discord and ripping it to Spotify. So keep an eye out on all of that. Obviously, we love having you here live, but your support in following that and sharing it is always appreciated, but obviously not mandatory.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So... yeah, pretty quiet day in the NFT space. I just see one hand going up. Our in business who joined us yesterday. I'm going to invite him up onto the stage, and we'll probably finish it off with him.
Hey guys.
Well, good morning.
Yes, it was a little slow. Nice to talk about ways to get strategies to find these really, really early discords. Where you don't even know what's going on yet. But it could be something, it could not be something, but it's the OG easy whitelist. A few guys, I know they come from everywhere, but has anybody got what's a repeatable process for finding those really early whitelists or really early discords?
Following Ape Season. No, he has been on a roll recently, delivering us, like, I think I got Swamp Verse because of him. I think I got Fish Tank. Oh wait, no, that's not a good example. But I don't know. I don't think Fish Tank. I'm kidding. But
we're gonna invite in business up onto the stage, and you're gonna throw that kind of shade around right now, man. What the?
So top of the tank, dying.
Oh no, you're not feeding them. Well, I don't blame you. So
because it costs you $250 in gas every time you put a little fish food in the tank right now.
Steak yet? I don't know. I don't know what to do on that one. But that's one of those things, right? I mean, it'd be great to have him on. Hey, what's your strategy? Because you don't know. I mean, when you get him that early, it could be a fish tank, it could be a kaiju, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one thing is, and this may sound simple or difficult depending, but you got to buy blue chip NFTs, because often it is the smart thing that a lot of new projects do is they go right into the alpha channels of the high net worth NFTs, because they know those are the best places to start a base. So, and I'm even the mid-tier ones, at Orcs, when it was chugging and it was 3, they had an active alpha room. But if you can get into decent communities with alpha, AlphaMint, that's the reason we know Ape Season is because of AlphaMint. But you really have to be in kind of the gated paid communities. And in this world, that means buying an NFT. So Wall Street Kongs. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's really good advice. It's also just like, it's also very expensive advice.
Yeah. I think baby Kongs, that's why they're so appealing though. It's because it's a cheap entry into that alpha channel. And that's where they have utility. Yeah, go ahead.
That's 2 other questions, actually. So you have like, are you better to have, in a case of I was stocking Smithereens. I think we were joking around in the chat last night because I was looking up, a strategy for WETH offers is to find somebody that accepts a WETH offer, right? And then go look at their wallet and see if there's anything else that they would find interesting that might be attractive to you that you could WETH. We buy houses stuff, and anytime in liquidation space, basically anytime somebody's selling something possibly below market, there's a good chance they're going to sell other things below market. I'm sure you guys have seen that before where, he accepts 3 offers at the same time and just completely unloads. But, he's got a nice collection of baby apes or Kongs. And, the one of the things I was wondering is, like, are you better off having like 4 Galactic Apes? Like, if you think there's alpha in Galactic Apes Discord, are you better off having a bunch of that? Or are you better off having like one of each of these blue chips if your goal is, alpha discovery?
I think if your goal is alpha discovery, then you're right.
Minimum.
To just spread it around and whatnot. It really depends on how active you're willing to be in this space, though. Like if I think you said it the other day, like, if you are in a position where you're employable and you don't have a lot of obligations, like, dropping everything to participate in this while the opportunity is hot could be incredibly lucrative to you. If that is your strategy and that is what you're aiming to do, then yeah, I think you're right on the money about holding a bunch of them. But I think for most people, just finding one consolidated space, and that is and I'm not just trying to shill it, but that is kind of what AlphaMint is that we have all of these people, and there's a very tight knit, aligned community that is all looking out for each other. And I do think that we have a really good sense of community. And so, somebody might have Kongs, somebody might have Galactic Apes. Free Market's always in the Kaiju Discord. And there's kind of that power in numbers and looking out for the homies, so to speak, in that vibe. So, I mean, if you don't have ETH to just spread around into all of this, just pick one and be active in it.
That brings up one more good question, I think, before you guys shut it down. So, like, I'm pretty active in the AlphaMint Moon Lounge, and I completely missed, like, the ape season thing. So I'm wondering if there's a way, like, has anybody got a good strategy that they use for just being alerted to, like, new Discord, like, quick act fast opportunities?
So I'm going to just jump into that too, because I do have the answer to it. One of the reasons why somebody like Henry has kind of jumped on with us, and and I'm jumping on full time. Drip and Scott and NVO also are all working on very hard on that. But we are, for AlphaMint specifically, looking at aggregating and kind of increasing the throughput of that information directly to you guys, and trying to put it into one pretty easily digestible spot that you can check whenever you want. So, I mean, I would keep an eye out on that. And again, I'm not trying to just turn this into, the Moon Lounge shill hour, but we do actually have a lot of exciting things to come make your life easier for that, because you can't be in the Discord 24 hours a day, and it's one of those things that you could step away for 5 minutes and miss the opportunity of, I want to say the decade, but like maybe the day or the week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of want to make a point too about being in these alpha channels like AlphaMint, or like any of the NFT channels, like you have to buy a Kong to be in Wall Street Kongs. I've always looked at business, and something that changed my mind a long time ago is that you don't try to make a product and then find customers who will buy it. You try to identify and get to know a demographic, and then come up with a product for them. And if you're an active member in 3 or 4 alpha Discord, let's say you bought a Kong, let's say you bought a mouse, let's say you bought a toad, you bought a few of these with these active alpha Discords, and you were just a known community member, gave a tip once in a while, talked around, blah, blah. You have a built-in customer base of people who will buy whatever product you come up with without even asking. That the power behind this, I think, for people in business understand how powerful that is. It's pretty crazy, and that's where I think the real value is in these things.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid mic drop, honestly. That is the power of branding, the power of community, and something that has been my core focus and principle in operating for longer than being in Discords.
100.
All right. So if anybody else has anything to say, you can jump on up. Of course, in business, always good to have you up here. Anything you're looking at real quickly today, or are you just going with the flow? Not sure if we lost him or no.
I think that means going with the flow. No, I don't know.
No. Yeah. So, let's bring Smithereen up here so he can trash Wes a little bit. Sent the invite in. Yeah, there you go.
I can't believe I get to hear his voice.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if he's been up yet or not. I feel like it was recently he was up. I can't remember. You are muted if you're trying to talk right now. Yeah, I apologize. If you are talking, I saw you go unmuted, but if you're talking, can't hear you.
I knew this was too good to be true.
Yeah, he's just trying to get his...
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, there you go. Welcome.
Hallelujah.
Hey, GM. What's going on, guys?
Welcome.
GM,
sorry about that.
Sir? No problem.
We'll let it slide this time.
I'm doing great. Yeah, I will say, like, I think that... just to comment on In Business's thoughts regarding like joining these communities of blue chips. I recently joined CyberKongs, and at first I was a little skeptical. I was like, wow, this is a pretty high entry point just to get, alpha from a closed Discord. But after joining, there's some really great intellectual discourse going around there, just around different shit coins to mid cap coins, just like in general, and just like a pretty top down approach to what's been moving well. And I'd say that there's a lot of value there. In terms of Galactic Apes, I just thought that, like, they didn't really see a dip. While with the CyberKongs, I know that at the top of the bull, they were trading, like the baby Kongs were trading around, 18 to 20 ETH. And so I've just been stacking those for a, just as like a trading play. But then obviously you only need one to get into the Wall Street Kongs. So I would highly recommend joining that. I did discover this shitcoin there last night called GM, caps lock GM.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I dropped in like not to be bashful or anything, but I dropped in like 0.4 ETH, and it's at like 325 now.
Wow.
So yeah,
Nice.
great
Yeah,
alpha.
see?
Good a
See?
lot of
Look at
shit,
that.
a lot of shit coins though. I will say there's a lot of shit, but
Right.
yeah, once in a blue moon you get a good one like GM caps, and it's good stuff. So yeah, and then with Galactic Apes, like I don't know, it's just a lot of talk. I feel like the founders of these NFT projects, they should not be taking any days off. Whether it's like if they have no news, like at least come in and engage with the Discord, and because community is everything. I'd say another community that I saw that's similar to the Kongs is the Anonymice.
Nice.
I know Shoobs is big there, but yeah, like being able to tap yourself into communities of people that are smarter than you, that's something that I get a lot of value out of AlphaMint, because you guys are all brilliant, and I'm just like I'm very talkative, obviously, but I try to be just like a sponge and absorb a lot of the great alpha you guys share. So wanted to say thanks for all that. Love the show, and Henry, welcome aboard. Great morning roundup, and yeah, man. I hope you guys can.
Henry put my morning roundups to
up.
absolute shame.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
No, but you know what? I just really quickly want to touch on your point about being active in the community as the founder and not taking days off. I think you have a point there. I was messing around in the head DAO general chat, and they were pretty pissed off that Shamdu even went to NFT NYC, which I thought was hilarious. And I know that general chats are not exactly where you should be gauging a product's worth or anything, but they have this influencer that started a DAO pretty successfully, I might add. And they were mad that said influencer went to the NFT NYC where all the other influencers were, and they were demanding that he should instead be out hustling, which you know what I mean? And
yeah,
but it's just so weird that like it's just I'm gonna say he took 3 or 4 days off, but when I say took 3 or 4 days off, like he was at an NFT basically conference / party. But that lack of communication or that lack of participation in his community on Discord really rubbed people the wrong way. So I think you're onto something with just that. Like you really do have to work hard to maintain your presence to the people that are holding your project. I'm hesitant to use words like investors or anything like that, because I don't think that it should be viewed like that. But yeah, I think you raise a good point about that, and there's probably a lot to unpack there, and you probably make a whole podcast about this.
But it really shows the importance of UPOD, an old term from the stock market: under promise, over deliver.
Sure.
Your roadmap is on you. There's no reason to ever give the public too much. I mean, and then it limits how much you can maneuver internally, because now you've promised things out in the public. So even if it's a good maneuver, you're going to have people wed to how you had framed it before, and you're going to have angry people, which is just another conflict not worth dealing with. So UPOD. When
looking into a project,
totally.
I don't think I've ever viewed the roadmap as a positive indicator of said project, if I'm being honest with you.
Totally.
But I do look at it oftentimes and go, oh, what the fuck? Like, why even bother trying to do this? You haven't even done a successful mint yet, right? So, it's like there's almost no plus EV in having a roadmap, and therefore just don't fucking do it.
For sure. And like honestly, it was pretty funny to see that I was like one of the only people expressing my disdain towards Wes in the Galactic Apes chat. It just shows how tribalistic people are in this world. Yeah, it's like everyone's like, chill, man, they're coming, monkeys are coming. It's like, dude, like I parked like 50 fucking grand here, and you're telling me to chill? Like, because he told I bought the Galactic Apes because of the monkeys were supposed to come, and now you're telling me they're not coming because of the market, and like that's ludicrous that I'm upset. All right. you know. So I mean, but so that's another thing. Like, we should be holding these, you know, founders of NFT projects accountable to what they're promising, right?
But how do you
And,
suggest you hold them
you know,
accountable? Because the only alternative is sell the project, and right now you're probably doing it at a loss. So really, you're the one that's paying the price. Like, how do you? And I'm actually just asking this. Like, how do you suggest you hold them accountable?
For sure. So the way you hold them accountable is with logic, right? Like, there's a fine line between flooding your own bags and being logical. And when you're being logical in these discords, other people all of a sudden have a light bulb that goes off in their heads, and then they start, you know, saying the same thing that you're saying, to the point where the founder doesn't have a choice but to start delivering, right? But you got to be careful, because if you start flooding your own bags, then you end up hurting yourself, right? And everyone else.
That was a frustration that I had being in the general chat of the head DAO. Again, because it just turned into this, like, he should be out there hustling. He should be out there hustling. And it's like, what does that even mean? Right? Like, you're not presenting any solution to this. Like, you're flooding your own bags, but you're not swaying the narrative into some kind of, like, constructive conversation. They're just saying, like, hustle, bro.
Yeah.
And
I would get out of that. I don't know how DAO ends,
you know what,
but a lot of these DAO projects are, I think a lot of these DAO projects, they're going to get, you know, OpenSea is going to start hammering them, if they haven't yet, with a list of questions. You know, what are you doing? Is this security? Da 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 da.
If it hadn't been for my appreciation,
kid is prepared to.
Well, we don't even actually know if he's 16 years old. That was apparently a joke that is just like he never commented on and just ran with. But you know what? I have an appreciation for how he's done things so far. He managed to keep a good hype train going. He got the multi-sig up. He's kind of held true to his word on everything. So I'm going to let that ride for a little bit. But if I had any less feeling towards what he's been doing, I probably would have sold after being in that community, which is ironic because, you know, they're talking about how he needs to be doing more, but they're causing the actual problem that they're trying to address, which is the floor being low. They're making it worse, right? Because I probably would have sold if it hadn't been for some other factors.
Sure. I think he's great. I just think it's like a compliance thing, that if OpenSea wants to take it to the next level, which in my eyes is like an IPO, then they're gonna have to, you know, they're gonna probably have to call these DAO projects that are, you know, essentially securities.
Definitely the game we're playing in this space, though, right? Like we're all kind of really skirting the line with almost everything that we're holding, and you know, some of the major projects like, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum, the regulatory committee has already kind of taken their stance on that, and they have for a while. But yeah, so, some of these DAO projects and NFT DAOs and whatnot. Yeah, sorry, Free Market, you were going to say something.
Yes, if he's 16, that must have been his mom on his arm at NYC. NFT NYC.
Well, I could see why the head DAO community was upset about that, because if he's anonymous, you know, he's not really getting much value going if he can't network with people on behalf of head DAO, right? So but yeah, I mean, happy to connect and love the show, guys. So thanks so much for everything, and looking forward to a great day.
Yeah, always happy to have you here. So.
Cheers, guys. All the best.
All right. I think on that note, we will probably wrap it up. Shout out to a bunch of new people that are in here. As I noticed, Charles is returning on the road. I don't think I've seen before. Bus Techno kind of coming in right at the tail end of the show. Cardinal, one of our OG homeboys from back in the Clouded One days. Always good to see him here. And, you know, as I said before, we are recording this, so if you missed anything, definitely check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and soon to be YouTube. So,
thank you for listening.
I was expecting a lot more of a final mic drop from you there. But yeah, I appreciate it, guys. And we will do this again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. So be sure to tune in. And if our listener count is any indication of the market, the NFTs are coming back, baby. So yeah, we'll do it again tomorrow. And thank you.
Good luck, D-Gens.